Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm diving into a review of some pieces from StyleWe, a brand that's been popping up all over social media lately. They immediately caught my eye because at first glance they seem quite similar to Shein, but they claim to offer something unique. So let's explore StyleWe together and see if they live up to the hype.
It's the style from down under. I break the rules without a blunder. Don't worry, a pretty face in style within grace.
Before we jump in, I have a special discount code for you. If you decide to shop at StyleWe, you can use my code AmySW18 to get 18% off your purchase. I'll also include links to all the pieces I'm reviewing in the description box below. So if something catches your eye, you can easily check it out. Now, a little about StyleWe. Founded in 2015, they're an online multi-designer brand that collaborates with independent fashion designers. Their mission is to provide customers with original, high quality and exclusive designs. They combine the creative vision of cutting-edge designers worldwide with high-quality production and digital marketing to bring high fashion to a global audience, all while supporting designers in achieving their dreams. Naturally, I wanted to put these claims to the test, especially since their slightly higher price points set them apart from brands like Shein. We all know Shein's reputation for stealing photos and designs to create cheaper versions, but StyleWe positions itself as a platform that celebrates independent designers. Since both brands are based in China, I'm curious to see how they compare. StyleWe offers a wide variety of styles, ranging from casual to elegant, so there's something for everyone. For this collaboration, I was limited to one specific collection to choose from. These may not be pieces I'd typically select if I had the full range to explore, but I'm excited to try something new and step out of my comfort zone. I've styled each piece into complete outfits using items from my own wardrobe so you can see how they work in real life. So stick around for that. One thing to note, the items I selected are mostly wintry and warm, which is perfect for my Northern Hemisphere viewers heading into cooler months, but for me, being in the Southern Hemisphere, I'll need to wait until June next year to get a lot of wear out of these pieces. And speaking of seasons, if you notice me looking a little shiny in the outfit shots, just know it's summer here, and these cozy pieces were quite a challenge to shoot in the heat. Whew. For full transparency, this is a collaboration, and StyleWe kindly sent me 6 items from their latest collection to review. However, before agreeing to the collab, I made sure to confirm that I could share my honest opinions, even if something didn't work for me. StyleWe assured me they welcome objective and fair evaluations, as they see them as motivation to improve. So that's exactly what I'll be doing today, giving you my honest thoughts on each piece. Before we jump into the pieces, let's talk sizing. Online shopping can be tricky, so I always like to share my measurements to help you make informed decisions. For reference, my bust is 34 inches, my waist is 29 inches, and my hips are 38 inches. And I'm about 5'7" when it comes to height. When it comes to choosing your size on StyleWe, I highly recommend checking the detailed measurements in the size chart for each item. Sizing can vary depending on the design, so it's always best to go by your measurements rather than just picking your usual size. For this review, I chose a medium for most pieces, except for the velvet pants where I went with a size small. Hopefully, seeing how these sizes fit on me will help you decide what might work best for you if you're considering ordering. I'm excited to share that my order arrived way faster than I expected. StyleWe placed the order for me on December 13th, and they mentioned that all items were shipped within 3 days, with an estimated arrival of up to 18 days. To my surprise, everything arrived on December 20th, just 7 days later. That's way quicker than I expected, especially considering it's the busy holiday season. So, a big thumbs up for their shipping speed, at least for me. I can't guarantee that the shipping is always that fast. Now that the items are here, let's get into them. First up is the green velvet blazer, which I selected in a size medium, priced at 111 Australian dollars and 64 cents. The blazer is lined, though not with typical lining fabric. Instead, it uses a stretchy polyester material. It's a bit of an unusual choice, but it definitely helps with the flexibility and comfort. The fabric is very movable, which is great because I can easily raise my arms without feeling restricted. It also has shoulder pads for added structure. Now, I typically size up with outerwear because I like having room to layer, but with this one, I do swim a little in it. I was excited for this set, but I'm not sure the green velvet is the best shade for me. It feels a little too warm toned for my complexion. Still, the quality is solid and I'm sure it will be cozy for colder months. Next, we have the matching green velvet pants, which I chose in a size small. They are priced at 63 Australian dollars and 79 cents. These pants fit perfectly. They feature an invisible zipper on the side, and the waistband is also elasticated, which adds comfort and flexibility. The inside isn't lined, but that doesn't bother me too much. They're very comfortable, warm, and will be great for winter. They are a great length on me as well. And as I said before, I'm 5'7" for reference. As for the velvet fabric on both the blazer and the pants, it's not as velvety as I had hoped. It's not the most luxurious velvet, but it's still okay for the price. I'm pretty happy with the quality of both of these pieces, and they create such a striking outfit paired together. Next is this black textured turtleneck top in a size medium, priced at 47 Australian dollars and 84 cents. Surprisingly, this top is more of a sweater than a simple turtleneck, with a thick knit fabric that's incredibly warm and cozy, ideal for winter. The sleeves are wonderfully long, reaching my fingertips, which is a rare find for me. While I could have sized down, the stretchiness would have definitely allowed it. I sized up based on past experiences with similar tops from Shein. Because of this, there's a little too much fabric around the bust, but it's not overly noticeable or bothersome. What makes this top stand out is its unique horizontal knit detail, which adds visual interest compared to a standard turtleneck sweater. It's versatile, stylish, and a piece I definitely will wear often. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Now let's talk about this burgundy red knit sweater skirt, which I picked in a size medium, priced at 79 Australian dollars. This skirt was a bit different from what I expected based on the website photos. I thought it would have more of a flared shape, like my other knit midi skirts, but it turned out to be more body hugging and fitted. Also, it's not a midi skirt as expected. It's definitely maxi length. I know it literally says that in the title, but obviously I missed that detail. The skirt is very stretchy. I could have sized down easily. It's super soft, comfy, and warm. Perfect for winter. It also has a slit in the middle at the back, which makes it easier to move in. While it bulges slightly around the waist when sitting, I imagine sizing down would have eliminated that issue. I'm not sure why I opted for a medium instead of a small in this one, but it's still a piece I really like and can see myself wearing often. Overall, while not exactly what I expected, it's a versatile and cozy addition to my wardrobe. Now, let's talk about the white coat, which I ordered in a size medium, priced at 149 Australian dollars. Starting with the positives, the coat was whiter than I expected. It looked more like a yellowy cream in the photos online, but the crisp white was a pleasant surprise. The sizing was good for layering chunky sweaters underneath, which makes it perfect for winter. It's also lined with a more typical lining fabric, smooth and almost silky feeling, which adds a touch of luxury. Plus, it has pockets and it's nice and warm. However, I did struggle a bit with styling this coat due to its somewhat awkward length. I tried pairing it with my leather wide leg pants, but that didn't work. Skinny jeans also felt a bit off. I eventually settled on a mini skirt, which worked alright, but it does limit versatility if it only pairs well with mini length skirts or dresses. When it comes to buttoning, I liked the look when the coat was unbuttoned, or when it was just with the clasp closed, it felt clean and classic. But with the top button done up, like in the website photos, it gaped a little bit in the chest area between the clasps and the button, which wasn't ideal. I also noticed that if you leave the top button undone, the string or stitching attaching the button on the inside of the collar is visible, which isn't the best design choice. Additionally, the clasps didn't feel very securely sewn on. When opening them, I had to be careful not to yank too hard for fear of pulling them off. All in all, it's not my favorite item from this haul, but it's not too bad. It has some good qualities like warmth and layering potential, but there are a few design elements that make it less versatile than I'd hoped. If I had to pay $149 for this, I probably wouldn't buy this, but what do you think? Lastly, let's talk about the faux leather boat neck top, priced at 99 Australian dollars. This piece was definitely the hardest to style. It sits at an awkward length, making it tricky to pair with other items. The thickness and structure of the faux leather material make it difficult to tuck into anything. It doesn't drape or conform like softer fabrics. I ended up tucking it into wide leg pants, but it created noticeable bulges under the pants. Adding a belt over the tuck helped disguise it a bit, but it wasn't a perfect fit. In terms of sizing, I may have been better off sizing down because the top sits quite baggy on me and isn't particularly flattering. That said, I intentionally sized up, worried about the lack of stretch in the thick material. But it is kind of stretchy, so I shouldn't have worried about that. But I also wanted to maintain a range of movement. Even in this size, I can't raise my arms above my head. So I don't think a smaller size would have worked well either. On the plus side, the top features an invisible zip down the back to help with getting it on, and I had no trouble with that. The material and construction quality are decent, but the overall design wasn't a great match for me. It felt unflattering, uncomfortable, and quite challenging to style. What do you think? How would you style something like this? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know how to style this. That wraps up my review of StyleWe. Overall, I'd say my experience with the pieces was a bit hit and miss, but quality-wise, I was pretty happy with what I received. That said, it does make me wonder if they take extra care to send their best items to YouTube reviewers. One area where StyleWe could improve is their website. They need more photos of the items, preferably from different angles and a variety of models, as well as higher quality images. Right now, it can be hard to tell exactly what you're ordering, which might lead to surprises once the items arrive. Something important to mention is that I don't have any insight into StyleWe's ethics, sustainability practices, or working conditions for their employees. Although StyleWe includes a sustainability link under the company info section at the bottom of their site, clicking on it didn't provide any information about the topic. It just took me to their blog page. Thus, I can't speak to whether they provide fair wages, safe environments, or use eco-friendly materials. These are crucial factors to consider when deciding where to shop, and I encourage you to research these aspects further if they're important to you. I've also seen quite a few negative reviews about the company online. While my personal experience was mostly positive, I think it's important to approach with caution. And keep in mind that experiences can vary greatly. I hope this review gave you a better idea of StyleWe's quality, fit, and design aesthetics. Let me know in the comments which item was your favorite, and if you shopped at StyleWe before, what was your experience like? Before you shop, it's worth noting StyleWe's return policy. All purchases except for swimwear, underwear, panties, bags, and accessories can be returned within 30 days of the delivery date. However, the buyer is responsible for the return shipping cost, and exchanges aren't available at this time. This means it may not always be worth returning an item, so I recommend being extra sure about your choices before checking out. Keep in mind there's some risk involved when purchasing. If you decide to give them a try, don't forget to use my discount code AMYSW18 to save 18% off your order. All the links to the pieces I reviewed are in the description box below, so feel free to check them out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fashion reviews and styling tips. I'll see you in the next one.